These are June's glasses. I'm going to wear them. Yeah, lately, as I've had some difficult times. Just I'm trying to maybe find the best path forward of what I estimate to be the best path forward, given certain risks and consequences, benefits, etc. involved. And yeah, it's tough. The immigration process in the U.S. is difficult, like legally immigrating, um, you know, for a foreign spouse, even if they're from a Western country in Europe or Australia, etc., takes a long time and a lot unknown as well. So, trying to figure out when I actually want to return to the US, because unfortunately, I don't think currently it feels like there's still, you know, at least oh, maybe like 10 more months, almost a year maybe, until it's all ready. And it's already been 8 months, about 7.5 months. Um, anyways, I'm thinking that I want to go back in August, September. I could stretch a feeling of that maybe, and do some things while I'm here. Um, I'm sure there are beneficial things I could be filling my time with. If I had just a month off while being here, I could do it, but maybe not necessarily desired still. But I could make it seem better for me, and then therefore I could make it somehow better just by the choices that I would make and things that I would fill my time with. But I think the largest thing is, yeah, I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna very much miss her. I think that she understands how much I would miss her, because I think she would understand how much she would miss me. And we'd have to keep that feeling between each other alive, like I know how much I care about her, and I trust her, and I do believe that it's the same, reciprocally. I had a difficult time saying that word because I don't use it often, but it's important that we reciprocally feel that way and understand the memory. It's much like my family. Really, it's kind of as sad as it is to say, I missed, whenever I first traveled, I missed my family a lot, but still not as much. At the time, I thought I missed them a lot, right? Because that was my sense of relative. I thought that, oh my gosh, I haven't seen them in, 4 months, 5 months. It's a long time, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. And the feeling grew. But, looking back, it will have been 5 years, um, in August-ish area, that time. It would have been about a little longer than 5 years. It's a long time. And really, I started missing them, initially, but I can live with it for a little bit. It's a little bit of sadness. And then after like a year ish, it starts getting like, oh my gosh, it's just hard because I miss them so much. And it hurts me. It like pains me to not be able to see them adapt and change and be able to see their life. Like, I'm connected with this person and I love them, no matter what kind of person they are, really. I'm gonna love them, and I'm always wishing them, happiness and joy and anything great, like, but also like knowing sometimes you gotta have hard times to have the good times. And I know that, but 5 years is too long. Like, being able to, you really get to feel like, yeah, I miss them like so much that it's hard for me to truly empathize how much I really do, because I've pushed it away for so much. Like, I don't talk to him all the time because it's hard to, like, you know maybe four in my immediate family: dad, mother, two sisters. And you know oof, that's a lot. It's a lot of talking when you have other things that you're doing. um, it's a lot, but I care about them because every time I talk to them, it just makes me feel sad, like so sad. And that's the missing feeling, and I've pushed it away because I don't want to feel it, because it begins to just hurt so much. And but that's why I'm trying to go back. But this whole process has taken and will take, I'm sure, a significant more amount of time, energy, and stress. Uh, so yeah, I just miss them, and I would appreciate them in my life. And I also know that time away from them has allowed me to feel more appreciative of them. Um, Absolutely. I don't think I would. I mean, I'm hypothesizing. I'm making a conjecture about the future, but I can imagine that, like, just when I see them again, um, it will be of the utmost joy, um, because I will have experienced not having them in my life. And I think similarly with them. And we get to redevelop a relationship together. And, that's beautiful. That seems so beautiful. Because we know what it's like to be without each other. Like, oh, you're my son. Or, like, like, whoa, you're like, oh my gosh, Jaron. Like, you've grown up like this. I'm trying to empathize, or how they would actually feel. And yeah, that's for my parents' view, but also like sisters. Whoa, Jaron, you're like this, or like, for good and for worse. I want them to see that I'm not perfect, and I don't want them to view me as like, I, well, here's the thing. I do want them to view me in that way, but I don't want them to also, like, I want them to be skeptical of me, right? Because I want them to be skeptical of everyone, and I have to sacrifice that, and I'm willing to do that. I think that's okay. And am I proud of myself for doing that? Yes. Am I proud of myself for feeling proud about it? Yes. I think it's an okay thing to feel proud about doing something good, as long as it's good. You're going to feel proud about doing anything, so just make your choice and hope for the best, that it's for someone else. With someone else first and then you second, rather than you first and then them second. But not sure where my mind was going there. Uh, but ultimately, I miss my family. I do, though. I miss my family. That was it. That was the thought. And I'm gonna miss the toots out of June. She's the most wonderful person. The most wonderful person. I think that spending time away from each other could increase, um, our enjoyment of each other, as well as it could allow me to be a little bit more ready and flow through things and with time a little bit better. If I had 3 to 6 months to do things and to all the things that I'm wanting to do or to in order to start a family, I would be progressed through that, however, 3 to 6 months, and she would join in. It would be a much seemingly flowing. I mean, the sooner we both get back, the better. But even if I got back first, there's a lot I could do, and yeah, and produce in that amount of time. So that's something, and I think it can be good for us. And it'll be better for me. Selfishly, yes, I think I'm finished with the job/career here. Um, do I enjoy teaching? Yes. Do I enjoy teaching children? Yes, but less. I actually prefer teaching older or adult, but I still enjoy teaching children, as long as it's not too young. But still, even then, to some extent, yes. But do I enjoy teaching English? No, not really at all. I try to bring mathematics, logic, science, history, music, etc., into conversations all the time. So, but I would say the majority is just English. So yes, even though I'm trying my best, it's not an 80 to 20, mathematics to English. So it's usually about the other way around, where it's mostly English and about 20%, something else. And I'm ready to get back to other forms, other options of work. I'd love to get back to helping people, and physical therapy is definitely nice. But there's just things. So even career wise, job wise, I would really enjoy going back. It's hard. It's been a year. I really wanted to see them 2 years ago. I wanted to go back 2 years ago just to visit and then come back, but it didn't happen. COVID, and then the last year is also COVID, and it's like, well, it's okay because we're gonna come there next year, and it's gonna be next year, and this is the year, and I've got to go back. Like, I just feels like I've got to go back, and I'm gonna miss the heck out of her. But we have to. We didn't do it. We talked about it. She didn't press at that time, and she didn't know. But the other thing is I knew she didn't know, and I knew how, like, it just could be a stressful thing, and I tried to stress that. But I also didn't. I could have started it, and so I also like aided and embedded in that procrastination. But we thought, yeah, I mean, by the times on there though, it should be about this long. Okay, it should be about this long. And at first, I tried to I let her do it first. Like, okay, you can do it, but it just never got done really. And then just finally, yeah, we did it together totally. But man, it took a while, and we gotta now face that, I think. Um, And I feel like I'm facing it now. She's facing it now as well. It's sad. Hope, though. I would be living on hope. Hope to see her again, much like I feel with my family. It's just the only thing that gets me by is the hope that I have the thought of having hope for seeing them in the future. Just a little bit around the corner, just a little bit around the corner, just a little bit more. Trick myself into, it's all right, man, just a little bit more time. Like, because I know, like, what can I do? I'm torn. It takes most countries a month to 2 months, maybe, to be able to immigrate or to be able to go there, filling out paperwork, paying fees. U.S.A. takes anywhere from 1 year to 3 years after you filled out an application. It's hard to plan for that far in advance. And there's so many things where you're like, okay, well, also between 1 to 3 years, how do you structure your life there? How do you just try your best and try to get it as even as possible where it ends up, the best overall, the scaled well, or who knows. I'm getting ready to go to Carrefour. I have some kefir. Kefir. This is in a time where maybe saying a Russian word is not appropriate. And that's a joke. It's not something. So for future self that's maybe watching this, that's not a literal thing. It's a joke. Kefir. Like, I'll say it as many times as I want because this is a good drink. But do I have feelings towards that language currently? Yeah, I think about it, but not the people, just a few people from there. I know it's not extrapolated onto everyone. It's much like America. People have a lot of views about America and people in it, etc. But most of America is not like that, or it's different than what most people think. It's the same, people think China or they think Taiwan, you think Japanese person, you think Iraq person, you think Iranian person, you're thinking a Polish person, you're thinking of a Norwegian, a Chilean. What are you thinking of? And then you just think of a few things, a few examples maybe of some people, but off of a couple movies or pictures or whatever you saw on something, whatever image you had from somewhere, you think of that. And you don't know how you account for that because maybe you have other experiences, but also maybe it's just ignorance, like not knowing, at least not having. Maybe you could know, maybe you couldn't, but with Google now you could kind of look. But anyways, or you could watch videos maybe of the culture and just really try to empathize with like that feeling somehow, because it's not going to feel the same in a video than it does in person when you're surrounded by it. I've gone way off track on this little journal speech. So I'll end it here. Sad and beautiful moments can flow together. They need each other. It's a balance. Gotta choose.